Hello and welcome back to the Joyful Soul Creates. Today I'm showing you some different ways to use your dies, and I'm going to be using the Flamingo die that came in the Simon Says Stamp July card kit. This is called just Flamingo Wafer die, and it's from Simon Says Stamp, obviously. This is one of my videos trying to catch up on the card kits because I did get a bit behind on them. But of course you don't need this particular die or this kit to use these tips I will be giving you, so I hope you'll find it useful. So first I'm just going to quickly show you die cutting. This is very basic and you can skip. I will have a time code in the description box below which you can click to skip through to see the cards if you don't want to watch all of this. So if you're using a Big Shot, you want your multi-purpose platform on tab 2, put your bottom cutting plate in, and mine's very beaten up, but that doesn't matter. Put your paper and your die cut into place and the top plate on top, and then roll it through. This particular example I'm just showing, I stamped the image first and lined up the die around the image, and then I have taped it into place to make sure it won't shift, because if it moves when I'm running it through it will not die cut in the right place, and that's particularly annoying when you have stamped your image because then it might cut through the middle of it, for example. On my second run through, I'm not taping the flamingo down because I'm not cutting a stamped image this time. I'm just cutting the flamingo as a standalone image, and this time I used some pink glitter paper. And here you can see some die cut examples. So here's the one that I stamped and cut, and that die actually cuts right up to the lines, which a lot of dies out there leave a white border, but this particular one cuts right up to the lines on the stamped image. Here's the glitter cardstock version that I showed, and then here is one from just some solid pink card, and you can see the embossed lines that this die cut gives. There's some on plain pink card and some pearlized pink card, which just gives a slightly different look. I also cut it from some mirror card and from some glitter fun foam. So when you cut from glittery fun foam, you already have the dimension there, which means you wouldn't have to pop it up if you want that dimension. It's just another approach. And as you can see, they all do have a different look to them, even though it is the same die. It can be fun to experiment with cutting from different materials. You could also try with patterned papers, for example, and it depends what your particular die you're using is. And here I'm going to just very quickly run through another example of how you could use your dies. I didn't make a finished card from this because I actually ended up messing up my panel, but you can, if you have a stamp and a coordinating die, stamp your image directly onto your card base where you want it positioned, and then if you have a panel of cardstock that is the exact same size as your card base, so if you're doing standard American A2 size, that will be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Once you have stamped onto the card base, and you do want to use a stamp positioner for this really, then place your panel into the same position and stamp again directly onto the panel. You will then use your coordinating die to cut out the image from that panel, and then when you lay the panel back over top and adhere it into place, for example popped up on foam tape, it will give you a kind of recessed design, and this can be particularly fun if you have multiple recessed images on your panel, which is what I planned to do, but my die didn't stick down properly when I ran it through on the last one I wanted, and shifted and ruined the panel, so I gave up on that idea. But if you're interested to see it, let me know in the comments below and I'll have a go at doing another one to show you sometime. So here I'm going to show you the finished cards I made. This first one uses actually that card base I was going to do with the recessed panel. I decided I wouldn't let it go to waste, so I used a stamped and cut die and popped it up over one of the flamingos on the panel. The stamped and cut die I coloured in with my Spectrum Noir Illustrator markers, just some very simple colouring using a few different shades of pink as well as a dark grey for the end of the beak, and I added a sticker for my sentiment. It perfectly fit the space, so I thought I would use that. And this is from an Amy Tangerine sticker book, and I will have a link to this down below if you'd like to find that. And there's lots of different stickers in this sticker book. I don't use stickers a lot, but this was part of the kit, and when I was trying to find a sentiment I thought I'd have a look in there, and I'm very happy with the one I found. I think it works really nicely on this card. On my next card I'm going to use the flamingo that I cut from the mirror cardstock, and kind of difficult to show on camera and was very difficult to photograph, but it has a nice shine to it. and I added a sentiment to the card base from the One Cool Pineapple stamp set, which is where the Flamingo stamp is from as well. I stamped it with pink shimmer ink from Delicata and heat embossed it with clear embossing powder, and then I felt the card needed something a bit more, so I masked off the edges of the card and ink blended that same ink just to give a light pink, almost like a panel look to the card, and then I adhered the Flamingo with Tombow Monomolte liquid glue. For my final card, I'm using the negative of the die cut, and you can see, I'll link in the top right hand corner, another video that shows using negatives of die cuts, and I'm using it as a shaker. So I cut the die from the center of the panel to make my window, popped it up on some foam and filled with some sequins to make my shaker. I edged it with cleared iridescent glitter peel-offs, added a sentiment banner which I stamped with stamps from Altenew's wood palette background, and I heat embossed with Wow Cloud9 embossing glitter for the edge of the banner, and then some white embossing powder for the sentiment. So that's the 3 cards I made, and then here you can see some of the flamingos that I have left over. I have the white one that was from the panel I cut for the shaker, which if I'd been thinking ahead I could have stamped and used that one for my first card. I have some from just the pink card, including the ones I cut for making my recessed panel that ended up failing. Then I have the glitter, the foam glitter, and the pink and pearlized pink snippets. And here's another look at the 3 finished cards. So you can see how different designs you can get from using just the same die cut. I'd love to know which of the 3 cards you like most, so you could leave me a comment down below and let me know. Have you tried any of these techniques? What other fun die cutting techniques do you know or would you like to see? Whatever comments you may have, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. All the products used in this video are linked down below, so you can find those, and there are timestamps so that you can jump to the particular card if you want to have another look at one of them in particular. If you liked this video, please do hit the like button. You can subscribe by pressing the button on screen if you're not already a subscriber, and you can hit the notification bell down below to be alerted every time I post a new video. I've put a couple of other videos on screen that you might enjoy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!